Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for the second of this week's reviews. I have to say right from the top, I did sort of wonder about whether I should go forward with this review. There are one or two real showstoppers here, but I decided in the end it would be a good idea to just do the review, put it up this week, and I'll contact the developer about the problems. Number one, probably one of the biggest showstoppers of all, the jetways don't connect properly. They're beautiful jetways, the animation is good, even the wheels turn, but unfortunately when they connect to the aircraft, no matter where you position the aircraft, you can't open the door because the jetway hasn't lowered enough to allow the door to be open, and that's on all of the jetway stands that I've tested actually prior to starting this review. The other problem is there's an animated train. Actually in the features it doesn't tell you it's animated. And what it does say, it says custom shuttle train, but it doesn't say that it's actually animated. I expected it to be animated and found nothing, but however eventually it did appear. It does take a while, but unfortunately that's not all. When it moves away it goes off the tracks, and it also highlights some real terrain issues, and coming back the other way it actually goes underground. So whoever did the train obviously didn't really go into the detail, which is a real pity. I do hate to call developers out on this, but these are real showstoppers. But anyway, I will show you a little video of the train a little bit later on and what I've found, and you can see for yourself. And we'll contact the developer and see whether they issue an update. But for now, let's get started. Where are we? We're in Europe. We're in Vilnius in Lithuania. This is VILNIUS International Airport, Echo Yankee Victor, India. This is a payware scenery by M Simulations version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. This is the release version, and I have checked and there have not been any updates released. The download's 1.82 gigabytes and it installs at 5.61 gigs, so it's a fairly substantial project here. It's currently only available through the AnyBuild shop. I'm not sure if it'll appear elsewhere, but I'll give you the prices. £17.99 UK, which equates to roughly €21.31 or $22.88 US. Now those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course can vary depending on your country of purchase. So let's look at the list of features. So features, and actually you can see the train moving down here. It takes a while for it to appear. It stops at the station here for about 25 seconds or so, and it takes a while. It actually goes all the way up here. It's another one of the furthest trains I've seen. But anyway, let's get back to that in a minute. Let's look at the features list. So we have accurately modelled terminal and interior, custom night lighting, custom parking positions matching real life, custom surroundings, custom people and animated objects, custom shuttle train, PBR materials and parallax materials, real world based terraforming profile, updated CGL data, ambient animated objects, and you also got a GSX Pro profile included, which I have installed and I used for the Jetway test, and like I said, they don't connect properly. So those are the features, and yeah, anyway, quite a lot of features, and generally the airport looks in good shape. The modelling is really quite good. It's just there's these showstoppers that really get to me. Anyway, let's talk a little bit of history, and we'll come to these other problems later. Okay, so history. VILNIUS International Airport, Echo Yankee Victor, India is a public-use international airport. It's owned and operated by the government of Lithuania and operated by the Joint Stock Company, or JSC, Lithuanian Airports. The airport serves Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, and is located 3.7 miles, or 5.9 kilometers, south of the city centre. It is the largest of 3 commercial airports in the country by passenger traffic, with 1 runway and over 5 million passengers a year passing through the airport. VILNIUS International Airport serves as a base also for Air Baltic, Ryanair and Wizz Air, and it's the 96th busiest airport in Europe. The airport began operations in August 1932 as Wilno Airport, Porubunek being the name of the neighbouring village, which today is part of the Kurtimai district of Vilnius, and I apologise for my pronunciation there. Before World War II, the airport operated the then domestic routes between Vilnius, and Warsaw, as well as an international route to Riga in Latvia. Since April 1939, the airport inaugurated a new route to Kovno, nowadays known as Kaunas. The airport was used as a military airfield during World War II, but after the war, the airport resumed its activity as a civil airport as of July 1944. Lithuanian Airlines, branded later as Fly LAL, was established as the Lithuanian flag carrier following independence in 1991, and inherited the Vilnius-based Aeroflot fleet of Tupolev Tu-134s, Yakolev Yak-40s, Yak-42s, the Antonov A-24, and an Antonov 26 aircraft, but rapidly replaced these Soviet-era aircraft types with modern Boeing 737 and 75 jets, as well as the Saab 340 and 2000 turboprops. Operations, however, were suspended in January 2009 as a result of growing financial difficulties, and the airline later collapsed. Air Baltic, the national airline of Latvia and under Scandinavian Airlines part ownership, opened up a second base at Vilnius in 2004 to complement its Riga operation, and became the largest carrier at Vilnius. The original terminal was built in 1934. The three-storey building was designed in modernist style and had a restaurant with a terrace, a hotel for passengers, a newspaper kiosk, a customs post, a police station and a post office. Construction of a new departure terminal at Vilnius Airport started in January 2023, so that was last year, which will double the terminal's capacity from 1,200 passengers per hour to over 2,400 per hour. Some 28 airlines operate into and out of Vilnius, including Air Baltic, Brussels Airlines, Fly Dubai, Lufthansa, Ryanair and Turkish Airlines. In addition, DHL Aviation and Turkish Cargo also operate cargo flights out of Vilnius. So there you are, that's some small history. I mean, the airport's been around a long time and gone through various stages of development, transforming itself from a Soviet-era airport into something more modern. And to be honest, this scenery project is actually pretty good. The detail around the airport, the buildings, the infrastructure, certainly off-airport as well, is really quite good. But we'll discuss that and the other things very shortly. So that was a history. Let's look at the runways now. Okay, so runways here at Vilnius Airport. The airport operates a single runway, 0119, measuring 8,251 feet, or 2,515 meters. The runway is constructed from an asphalt concrete mix. The airport itself lies at an elevation of 649 feet, or 198 meters, and sits within the GMT UTC plus 2 hours time zone. Now, like much of Europe, Lithuania does indeed observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and with both the UK and Vilnius now having moved forward onto DST, the airport remains 2 hours ahead of the UK. So here we're looking down the throat of runway 01. It's 9:15 in the evening. It's June 2024, so we're in the height of the summer, and up here in the northern part of Europe, the sunlight stays a lot longer. So here we're looking down the throat of runway 01, which features high-intensity runway lighting, high-intensity airfield lighting system version 2, centerline lighting, short field lighting system, touchdown zone lighting and precision approach path indicators on both sides. Now, from what I can see, they've got this correct. We're looking at the runway here. Here's the short approach lighting system. There's the centerline. You've got touchdown zone lighting here, you can just about see, and the PAPI's on both sides. The only thing they've added here, which to be honest may well be just from the default scenery, are the runway end identifier lights. These two white lights that flash either side are the runway end identifier lights, which are not listed on the chart. But as I've said many times before, you're going to add a navigation aid to a runway that's not on the chart. I have no problems with it. Anything that helps you to land safely is good in my book. Approaches at runway 01, well, you have an instrument landing system with Y and Z approach options, and this ILS is certified to Category 2 low visibility operations. You also have an RNAV approach option, and you also have a VOR, Y and Z approach option. So some nice options for landing here, which would be good certainly in the winter when the snow's around. So let's go have a look at the other end, runway 19. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 19, and this end has also a high intensity runway lighting, high intensity airport lighting system, centerline lighting, of course you'll see that, short field lighting system, which should be the same as at the other end. There really shouldn't be any strobes at this end. However, again, I'm not really complaining, although it's not listed on the chart. It's another thing to help you find the runway. So you've got the short field lighting system. You also have PAPIs on both sides of the runway. So you have pretty much everything. Short field approach lighting, PAPIs on both sides, a centre line. Although again, it looks like they've included touchdown zone lighting as well. Actually, let's go and have a closer look. And yes, I've included touchdown zone lighting here, which again isn't listed on the chart for this end of the runway. And again, we have the runway end identifier lighting. So this runway is perfectly okay, but you have the addition of the touchdown zone lighting and the runway end identifier lights, and you also have active strobes at this runway. To be honest, if they were going to have active strobes, it would have been better to have it at the other runway, because this runway approach is here for runway 19. You have a standard instrument landing system with Y and Z options, no category 2 or low vis option for this end. And you also have RNP and VOR at Y and Z approach options too. So you've got an ILS at both ends, low visibility one at the other end, 01, but not at this end. But again, as I've said, additional things not listed on the charts but included in the scenery. It's going to be fine. It's anything that helps you land, especially if the weather's bad. So there you go, that's runways for you, and by and large, I mean, the runway looks great. Here you can see the concrete and the runway itself, which is asphalt, so you can see the mixture of the two. So they've actually done a nice job this here. You don't see it in too many sceneries, but this is a really nice way of constructing the runway as per the chart when you've got a mix of concrete and asphalt. So that was runways. What I'm going to do now is we'll do the Jetway test, and I will show you the anomalies that I've discovered. Okay, so Jetways, so here we are on stand 47. We're just going to test this Jetway and see how it works. But remember, I have GSX loaded, the GSX profile is loaded, so this should all work. Let's see. Looks good, Jetway looks nice. The wheel's moving properly. The stairwell is raised, so that shouldn't go into the concrete. The wheels are moving really well, and what I like is the fact they're staying within the safe area. That looks like a pretty good connection. Let's get up close and have a look. That's pretty good. It's probably about the best that you're going to get, because the hood won't go over any more without infringing the aircraft skin, but it's a fairly close connection. Let's look to the other side. And again, that looks pretty impressive. It really does. Now, just one thing to note, I've spawned directly from the menu, and as you can see, we're not actually properly right on the 737 mark. We're actually on the Airbus A320 mark. Nevertheless, let's look inside. Right, as you can see here, the Jetway's got up close to the aircraft, but it's actually too high. There's no way that door will open. So as you can see there, I'm not going to attempt to open the door because it just won't open. I mean, it probably will. It'll go through the scenery, but that is what looked like a good connection from the outside is not. It's raised up too high. And there, looking from underneath, you can see the problem. The Jetway's connected, but it's not connected correctly for this aircraft. And GSX is not telling me that the stand is wrong from the aircraft. So, you know, you should be able to park here, no problem at all. Especially since you have a 737 marking here. In fact, you know what? Let's do it. I'll come back to this video in a minute. We'll move the aircraft onto the proper marking and see if it affects the jetway. Okay, so part 2 of the jetway test. As you can see, I've managed to move the aircraft pretty much right onto the 737 mark. So now let's try the jetway again. So once again, the jetway motion is fine, and the way it looks, really have no problems with it. It still looks a bit high. Yeah, I mean, no problems with the connection, but unfortunately I don't think it's gone correctly for the door. Let's have a close look. And there, as you can see, even though we've moved the aircraft correctly, the jetway is still halfway up the door. That's something maybe they need to fix. This is the release version. I haven't actually looked to see whether or not there has been an update issued, but I will mention it in the description if I find that it is. So there we go, jetway test. A pretty successful connection in terms of the way it looks and the motion of the jetway and everything. It just hasn't connected correctly to the door, which is a real pity because it's probably the best looking and the best motion jetway I've seen for a while. The wheels turn correctly and everything. Anyway, there we go. Let's get on with the main tour and have a look and see how good this airport is. Okay folks, welcome back. Now we're going to start the main tour. I'm going to try not to make this video too long. There's a lot to see, and you also visually sort of need to see the anomalies, but we'll do my best to keep it reasonably short. Anyway, we're starting here. Here you can see the fence line in front of us. The terrain looks good, as does the foliage. So let's go across the ramp and have a look. So as you can see, ground markings, lights, all of the different things look pretty good. We have animated flags down there, got a building slightly off the ground, which actually looks better when you get down low. And parallax there, that looks really good. It looks really good. So here's the construction site, and we've got construction men working there, which is something that's really good. Very pleased with that. The airside ramp, as you can see, looks wonderful, really does. Now for this tour I've actually moved my aircraft onto a third stand and tried the jetway, had the same result. It didn't connect properly, too high. However, as you can see, the terminal, airside, everything visually looks fantastic. And I just want to point out one little anomaly. So having spawned directly from the menu, this time onto stand 48, as you can see, not only have we not spawned onto the correct marking, this is a 737 marking. As you can see here, they've got the markings actually the wrong way round. They're okay on this side, but they're not, they're reversed as it were in terms of printing on this side, which is another little mistake I should imagine. But other than that, as you can see, the ramp markings look great. And in terms of an airport, I mean, it looks good, it really does. There was a VDGS system there which I haven't tested. But yeah, you know, it looks nice. There's a control tower, which, as you can see here, is modelled inside. Let's have a look. So there you go, interior is nicely modelled. People, radar screens, computers, interior, we've even got the roof lighting, looks good. And there we are, looking the other direction, looking out to the windows that are slightly misted, and you've got the interior detail looks good. No complaints with the control tower. So we continue the tour airside, and you can see the building modelling is good. Fence line there, correct fence line. Some lovely colouring on the building. A slight amount of weathering as well, which you can see. And a myriad of different vehicles. There's an entrance gate. Here we've got the buses. And it looks really nice, and here we've got different hangars. That's very nice, it's been nicely modelled. So as we continue, there's the fuel farm behind there. Some buildings down there with some graffiti on it, which is quite interesting. Here's the fire station. A couple of fire tenders outside, nicely modelled. While we're here, let's look at some of the ramp signage. I do like the taxiway modelling. The concrete looks really impressive. So here you've got taxiway signage leading out to the runway, and again they're nicely done on concrete plinths, nothing just stuck in the grass, and it looks really good actually. You've got centerline lights which are not active at the moment. Obviously it's the daytime, blue overhead red lights. We'll have a look at dusk, at darkness, and see how these are, but everything here looks really good. Here's the runway, entrance to the runway. And there's the signage on the other side showing you when you come off the runway. So we come across and look at some of the other airside hangars and properties here. Very nice. Again, fully developed in terms of signage. And this looks like a cargo building, possibly DHL. Yes, it is. DHL, as you recognise the colouring. And that's landside. As you can see, you've got the airside fence below us. Once again, nicely modelled building. Lots of various clutter, cars and everything parked. Animated flags. And parallax windows down there too as well. So lots for you to see. And various vehicles and train spares there too. Okay, so let's tour landside, heading back towards the terminal. As you can see, various buildings here that have been really nicely modelled and done. As you can see, it's sort of no expense here has been spared in terms of modelling. They've done a wonderful job on the buildings. And the clutter, landside there, the car park's 3D, all of the cars fit. Various little hangars and things going on here. And as we pass landside, as you can see, lots of detail. I mean, it's a nice job. It's a well-detailed and well-defined airport. So landside of the control tower building there to the right. Now we get to the airport itself. Try and slow down for you to see a bit better. Oh, it's nice. Visually it's nice. Could do with some people out here. Again, animated flags. We've got plenty of taxis. No, it's really strange. You see, you've got people out there, plenty of them by the construction site, but none of them landside of the terminal, which I find a bit strange. However, I mean, for me, it's a first to see construction people. So kudos for that. And again, all these cars, pretty much most of them nicely parked inside their appropriate slots, and of course everything's been done 3D here. Budget rent-a-car, complete with a multi-story car park. And again, I love these little traffic lights. Okay, they don't work, but man, they look nice. They do. There's the train bridge. Bridge goes under that. The train goes under that bridge. And as you can see, loads of detail, absolutely loads of it. They've done lots of work here. We've got the upper part of the car park. So there's the train station. And there, as you can see, the track goes on. It actually goes on for quite a while. As I said, there are one or two little issues with this train. I mean, it's not really nice that it's animated, but there are some issues, and there are one or two little terrain anomalies that you can see along the way. But the track goes out there quite a way, which I think is good. It's one of the longest train tracks, active ones, that I've seen. And there's another view. You can see we've got static trains in the distance. And there you can also see the train track goes on considerable distance up here as well. And there were one or two terrain anomalies here which haven't quite been thought out. But anyway, let me show you a quick bit of video of the train animation itself that I took separately, and then you can judge for yourself. So as you can see, here we go. The train now is running off the tracks, which has just ended there. Here you've got terrain issues as well, going through a deep culvert, not quite working there, I think. Again, we're really off tracks, no track at all here, coming to the upper end of the train limit. Again, you see it's a bit all over the place. And now here, all of a sudden it starts to rise up in the air. So here we are going back the other way, and again you get a good view here of the fact that it doesn't seem to be on any kind of track. And again we're in this kind of deep culvert. Goes under the bridge, which is nice. And now we're coming back to where the track starts, which is here. And this is where it kind of gets back on the track. We're a little bit off track there as well. In fact, we're well off the track there, which is partly covered by the trees there. We're getting back on the track and now coming up towards where the station is. We're still sort of here and there in terms of the track look. But we do go under this bridge and then we stop at the station. Now we look at the other end, or the other limit. Again, we're nowhere near the track, and now the train starts to go underground. You see that? It disappears right under the track. So there you are. That was a bit of video for you, showing you the anomalies there, which is it's a real pity. I hope they could fix this. Okay, so that was the train animation for you. As you can see, there are some anomalies. I mean, I hate to say this, but it just looks like a bit of laziness. They've done a nice job, but they haven't really completed it, which is a pity, because they potentially have one of the nicest and longest train animations there. And they supposedly have worked on terraforming the airport as per the real world profile. But clearly it hasn't quite worked out in every spot. But here we are back on the main ramp at daytime. Let's have a closer look at the ramp. So as you can see, here's my aircraft parked on stand 48. Here's a view from the cockpit. Currently we've got the Jetway disconnected. Here you've got the VDGS system. And we're, as I said, we're on stand 48. And this is the view you get when you look out, having parked here. During the daytime, it's just after midday. View from the captain's side, and there you can see the underside of the Jetway. Looks pretty impressive. And looking out across the apron over the first officer's window. I mean, it looks fine. It looks really good. So as you can see, we've got airside development inside the terminal. So let's pop in and see what they've done. And that is quite a nice view. Some nice people figures fairly detailed signage as well there, and you can also see through to the other side here. Oh, looks pretty good, really does. And here's the other side. And you've got a little coffee shop, which is a sort of photo, but you don't have an attendant there. And more figures and further seating as well. Airside duty-free shops are closed today by the looks of it. But as you can see, airside looks pretty good, certainly during the day. So let's explore landside close up. First of all, the construction site, which in my opinion is one of the nice features about this product. It's been very nicely done, and nice to see the construction workers added. Here's landside of the terminal, some nice signage. It really looks good. It would be nice to see some people. So landside, a very grandiose building. Let's pop in and see if there's any interior development. Looks like there might be. And there is. So those are the entrance doors. Obviously they're in real world, they're sliding doors, and they've got some advertising on them. A very ornate building. As you can see, these pillars are beautifully done, as is the concrete here. It looks wonderful. So as you can see from this shot, it's a really ornate building. I'm not quite sure where you go to check in from here. This looks like a lift or an elevator. Okay, so finally found check-in. Not really quite sure how you get here. But anyway, we're here. It looks good. There's a check-in agent and a passenger, which is always good. And there's more over that side. And here you've got the same sliding doors that lead into check-in. So I'm going to go out through them and see where we go. Right, so we're sort of backwards and forwards in this upper part of the building here. So obviously it's a very different way to get to check-in. So as we cross check-in, we head towards these more check-in desks. The signs you can see really good close up, very clear. It looks great, it really does look good. So that was during the daytime. Let's turn it down to dusk now and have a look at the lighting. Okay, 5 minutes to 10 PM local time. And as I've said, it's June 2024, it's summer. Vilnius is way up in the northern part of the hemisphere, and so you get daylight lasts a lot longer. There's the sun dipping down below the horizon, and here we've got the airside central area with the lighting on, and it looks great. At first look here, it looks really good. Down lighting always looks good. The Vilnius sign is lit, and here you've got parallaxing on the building as per the features. And yeah, loads to see. Looks good. And then looking out across the main ramp towards the runway threshold, we've got green centerline lights here you can see, as well as the blue airfield edge lights. And the ground area, the lighting is coming from the stanchion poles, which is good. No Asobo globes floating around. That's really important. And they're looking in the other direction. It's great. I mean, the buildings look brilliant. Look at the shimmer on these things here. I don't know whether it's a case of the doors opening and closing, or maybe it's just a graphic effect. I don't know. It looks good, whatever it is. Here's the fire station all lit up. DHL over there, various hotels and things. It really does look good. So let's start with a close-up tour of the main ramp airside. So once again, I mean, this drop lighting looks really good, and you can see the terminal itself has been quite nicely lit. There we can see inside with the passengers. Glass effects are really good there. You can see the sunset reflecting off some of the glass. It's great. It really does look nice. And here you can see the control tower building. Loads of really good quality parallaxing on the building. And there's the inside of the tower, nicely lit. I mean, that looks very effective. And here's the top of the tower, and this is something I've not seen before. Here you've got CCTV cameras that are actually in motion. Very, very nice. That's a nice effect. So here's a close-up of the building. This is a good example of the parallaxing effect that they've done, which looks great, to be honest. It really does. And there's a good shot showing it down here as well, and you can also see it on this building out here, landside. So we continue the airside tour. I mean, this looks really good, to tell you the truth. Well, they've done such a good job on this. It's such a pity they made a little bit of a mess of the train thing and the Jetways not connecting properly, because the rest of it looks amazing. Okay, we've got one Asobo globe there, or two Asobo globes. But I think I can forgive them for that, because the rest of it, I mean, look at this. It's lovely. It's really good. It's very well done. There's the fuel farm. And here's the fire station. Bit of parallaxing there too. We go across the rest of the airport here. Just the outlying areas for you to have a quick look at. The way they've done the buildings looks great. The parallaxing on the windows is really effective. There's the DHL building. Again, the same attention to detail with the parallaxing and a little bit of downlighting here and there. It just really makes it. So as you can see from this high level shot, I mean, it's the lighting generally everywhere looks really good. It does. So let's turn the light down to night time now. Okay, 1:45, and as you can see, the sun is pretty much gone now, and we've got the lighting as it should be at the top of the hour, so to speak. And it's not bad here. It looks pretty good. We've got some shimmering down here, but I'm not really going to worry too much about that. So firstly, a couple of shots of the main airside ramp during the night time, and as you can see, it's not bad at all really. It's done very well. Plenty of lighting. You're not going to have any trouble finding your way from the runway to the parking stands. Here's the terminal and the various lighting effects. There's the control tower. Again, it's all lit inside so you can see this, and various landside buildings all lit up really well. As a close-up look at the inside of the control tower, I mean, that looks really effective. It looks really good. And there's a view at night time looking out from the tower. Looks quite impressive. And here's another view looking out from the control tower. Just wanted to get close to the desk and see what the detail's like. So this is all really good, all highly detailed, very nicely done. And of course you can still see my aircraft out through the windows there. I mean, that's a really nice outside view. So here's a nice landside shot of the terminal, the main approach to the terminal, but it looks great. Well, you really can't complain. The only complaint I have is there's no people. You've got taxis here, various cars. This needs to be populated a little bit, but that's really my only criticism of the terminal. And again, you see parallaxing on these various buildings, and the lighting effects just makes it look good. It really does. And there's the roadway entrance coming into the airport. Let's take a little run down here. Nicely lit. Here's the bridge that goes over the railway. And here's the airport entrance. Very nice, really is. It's wonderful. So here you've got the train station at night, which looks nice, and there's a couple of people there which I didn't see earlier on. And that's nicely lit. Let's see if we can wait for a train to come. So there's the train that's just pulled up. Unfortunately, no lighting on the train. The modelling, however, is nice, no complaints. It would be nice to see some artificial parallax lighting inside so that we could see it at night. But there you go, there's the train in the darkness hours, not bad at all. And the station looks great. So you can see from this shot, looking towards airside from landside, here you've got the station below us and the roadway, the various car parks, and the lighting looks great. I really have no complaints. It is some of the nicest evening lighting I've seen. It is very, very good. And here's a much wider, higher level shot where you can look towards airside and see the whole scene, as it were. And there's just loads of really good lighting everywhere you look. The colours are wonderful. The realism is really good in my opinion. And they're looking out in the other direction. It's, you know, there's just no. It's really hard to criticise. I hate the fact that I've had to bring up the problem with the Jetways and the issue with the train, because the rest of it is so good. Really is. Okay, so that was night time, and if I'm in the right position, let's bring the dawn up and see what the effect is on the buildings. Okay, 5:10 in the morning, local time, and here you can see the sun's coming up behind me, and this is the effect on the airport from airside looking towards the main terminal. And it looks quite nice, it really does. There we are looking down, further down there towards the fire station and the DHL building. And there's the sun coming up in the east, and it all looks pretty impressive. Okay, 7 AM local time to give you my thoughts and comments. Firstly, let's say right off the bat, it's a lovely airport, lots of modelling, the very ornate interior of the terminal building, certainly landside, wasn't expecting that. Done a lovely job, they really have. And no real complaints about the terminal inside, the modelling as well, the way it looks from the outside at various times of the day. Lighting looks great. And the adjacent buildings, I mean, you know, you can't, there's very little you can say. I mean, even the car parks look good. The parallaxing is of sufficient quality that it makes the buildings look great at dusk, at night time and at dawn, which is often when airports come to life. Let's talk about the negatives. Obviously the big showstopper here, the Jetways don't fit. They work and they look good. Visually they look good. The animation's excellent. Some of the really best animation I've seen for a while. Yet the Jetways don't fit the aircraft. They need to look very carefully at that. And you know, there are just little things that have been forgotten. Things like when you look at the ground markings on the stand markings have been reversed because the letters are the wrong way round. So somebody needs to just go and have a quality control check over this airport and just correct some of the minor little things. The Jetways only need to be changed, just need to be lowered a bit so that they fit the aircraft. I mean, it should have been tested. As a developer, if I had a beta team, I would expect somebody to stick an aircraft on the stand in the right position and check that the jetway aligns. But they can, I'm sure that could be fixed. I don't think it's a big thing, but it needs to be done if you're going to park up and use GSX. They provided a GSX profile, but the Jetway doesn't fit, so you've really got to sort that out. The other big sort of showstopper for me is the train. It's a beautiful animation. The train goes out a long way in both directions. It's really good. You've seen the bit of video I showed you. So they need to just, again, finish that off. Quality control needs to look at that. And just make sure they pick a point where they want the train to disappear and no further animation. That's fine, but don't let it go off the tracks and into the air I mean, that just looks really, that's laziness as far as I'm concerned. That's just my thoughts. So, okay, look at the train, make sure it goes on the track as far as you want it to go, and pick a point where you want it to stop and disappear, or if you want it just to stop and then start the animation again. That's been done in many videos, many sceneries, and it works fine. And give it you've done some wonderful parallaxing here. Let's light up the train at dusk and night as well. I mean, okay, you're going to turn around and say, well, look, this scenery's the airport's for pilots. The pilots want to land and take off from here. They're not interested in all of that. Well, I'm sorry, some people are. And the quality control here is a little bit lax. So I've done a fantastic job with the airport. It's 90% complete. It's just great. I've landed here and parked up, and it's great. But the jetways need to be fixed, and just a little bit of quality control with the train and the ground markings that we've discovered needs to be sorted out. I'll put a little list up of the things I'd like to see sorted out to make this scenery into version 1.3, something like that. Developers, if you want to, if you choose to take my advice, that would be wonderful. People obviously going to ask me the same question now: is it worth the price? Okay, it's just under 22 euros. It's at the upper end of the purchase price here. I'll say straight off the bat, the amount of detailing, the amount of work that's been done here does merit this kind of a price. The internal work in the terminal, it's very ornate inside. They've added check-in, they've added people at check-in. And airside you've got everything you want. Visually it's wonderful, especially at dark, in the darkness hours. And you've got detailed stuff off airport as well that's also been parallaxed to a high development. And essentially the navigational aids are pretty much as per. So it's great. It's certainly worth the price, but they need to fix the showstoppers, in my opinion. They need to fix the things that have just dropped the edge off this quality. I would give it sort of 8.5, close to 9 out of 10, but it's not quite there. This could be an almost perfect scenery because the jetway motion is wonderful, and the way the concrete and everything has been done. It's one of the nicest airports that's been around for a while, but the quality control has been a letdown here. And there are some issues that need to be sorted. So if that's done, then this is a great product at a great price. But those are my thoughts, and M&M Simulations, if you watch this, I hope you'll take my thoughts and criticisms in the spirit in which they were given. I like this airport, I really do. It's one of the top ones in terms of what it's got, and the quality is good. But it's been let down for you in a couple of places. Fix those little issues and you've got one of the top airports here, in my opinion. So there you are, folks. VILNIUS International Airport in Lithuania. It's Echo Yankee Victor India. Payware scenery by M&M Simulations, released through AnyBuilds. Currently this is the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. Download is 1.82 gig and it installs at 5.6 gig. Current price, well, you're looking at £17.99, which equates to €21.31 or $22.88 US. Now those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, but which of course can vary depending on your country of purchase. So there you are, folks. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up this review. Thank you for joining me. If you've been on the fence, I hope hope this has helped you. And if you are seeing any more anomalies, or if you're seeing the sort of little issues I pointed out, fine, let me know in the comments. I've already sent a message to the M&M Simulations email, the support email. We'll see whether I get a reply. But no, I like it. I recommend the product, but they need to fix those issues. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Just a very quick reminder. Next week I'm off to Las Vegas to attend the Flight Sim Expo show. So there probably won't be any videos next week. I might try and get an adventure video out or something out before I go this weekend. Do something over this weekend and get it there. But no, I'm off to the States next week. I will be in LA on Wednesday evening, staying at the Renaissance Hotel if anybody's around and wants to join me for a drink or something. And then on the Thursday morning, I've got a rental car. We're driving across the desert, and I'll be in Las Vegas around about midday. And I've got Thursday to myself. And then Friday evening is the banquet, which I'm attending. I will be there. So anybody who lives in town, wants to sort of get together, have a beer or three, I'll be looking forward to seeing that. And yeah, see me at the show on Saturday and Sunday, and look forward to putting faces to names. So thank you again, guys. Have a great weekend, fly safe, and thank you for watching. This is Lee. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye for now.